Here we go. I'm assuming he'll come on in a minute or two, but let's not waste any time. Let's start. Okay? You have a Sefer Tzadik?
Which Sefer?
Derech Mitzvas Hatefilla.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay, so it's Daf Kuf Chof. Shall I wait for you or you're ready?
Pretty much ready.
Okay. I'm not sure what pretty is. I'm not sure what much is.
Kuf Beis, Kuf, yeah, got it.
Okay, very good. Now, we're holding the line that begins La'oisei hayoim. It's about 12 lines from the end of the perek, or 11 lines. La'oisei hayoim u'kamoi shemibinyan hanukva d'Rosh Hashanah v'Yom HaKippurim. Now, what's going on in the Maimed is that the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek is comparing what happens Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, the Tishrei, the head of the year, to every single day. Every single day in a microcosm, in a miniature way, you have the same inyan you have a whole year. Tkiyas Shofar is compared to Krishma. The Aseres Yemei Tshuva is compared to the second bracha of Shmoneh Esrei, Gvuras. And Sukkot and Simchas Torah is compared to the third bracha of Shmoneh Esrei, which is Kedusha. Okay? There's one more detail that the Rebbe explains, which is connected to Sim Shalom. And of course, when you learn this Maimah, you right away scratch your head and say, wait a minute. What about the 15 brachas in between? We did Avis. The Rebbe doesn't speak out Avis, but I was Matzia, Pshat and Avis. Avis, Gevuras, Kedusha, and then you go straight to Shalom. You skip all the 15 brachas in between. And at least at this point, the Tzemach Tzedek does not explain them. And as they say in the real world, that's just life. So we're going to read inside what the Rebbe has to say about Sim Shalom, because it's going to teach us something new about Tishrei. Okay, so I'm reading Okumai, just like Shemibin Yenanuk for the Rosh Hashanah v'Yom HaKippurim. That what happens in Rosh Hashanah is called Binyan HaMalchus. You have to build up the spheres of Atzilus, that there should be a healthy yichud, that there should be a union between higher levels and lower levels, so that it should come down to us. It starts with Tkiyas, and then it continues Naveh, the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which is the second bracha Shmoneh Esrei. And then it continues Naveh, the Sukkot and Simchas Torah, which is the third bracha of Shmoneh Esrei. And he says, Nase achakach hayichud v'ziva ha'ikri. You create a chassan and a kala, so that the chassan and the kala should get married. So the Rebbe says, blowing shofar, I guess you could say, is waking up the chassan. The Aseres Yemei Tshuva is preparing the kala to receive from the chassan. Sukkot is the chassan is the Eibishter, and the kala is the Yidden, or the world. Okay. Sukkot and Simchas Torah is this same idea of Binyan HaMalchus, but it's in the Kavah Simcha. But then there's the marriage itself, which is called Yichud V'Zivuk HaIkri. This takes place on Shmini Atzeres. What is unique about Shmini Atzeres? Because on Shmini Atzeres, this is the Ein Seif giving. The Ashpos Atchad the Tipo. Bebechin as Morken Neshamas Yisrael into the source of Jewish souls. Malchus of Atzilus, she's the Makabel Kvayocha from the Eibishter. Hanikre Nukva, she's the wife, she's the female of Ze'er Ampin. Ze'er Ampin is the Zochar in Atzilus. And this is the idea of Shmini Atzeres. Let me explain to you the deal. But I'm going to do what I do best, which is waste time. I'm going to go with a little bit of a bigger picture, and then I'll get to this point. There is a very, very famous hemshech, a truly famous hemshech, from the Rebbe Maharash, which is called V'kocha. V'kocha Teichlu Eis. It's a very, very famous hemshech from the Rebbe Maharash that's called V'kocha. V'kocha is considered one of the most important hemshechim in Chassidus. It was made not by the Rebbe Rashab, not by the Frierdiker Rebbe, but by the Rebbe Rashab's father, the Rebbe Maharash. I learned it a couple of times. It's a very involved hemshech. It's not easy. one of the things that happens in the middle of the Hemshech V'Kocha, it's not the whole Hemshech, but it's a piece of it, is that the Rebbe Maharash explores all the Yomim Tovim. He goes through in order: Elul, Yimei HaSlichos, Rosh Hashanah, Seres Yemei Tshuva, Yom Kippur, the 4 days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, the different mitzvahs of Sukkot, which is the Sukkah, the Lulav, Simchas Beis HaSheyeva. Then it talks about Simchas Torah. And that's where you have the sugya of a Yaakov Holach Ledarke. Where do you have in Chassidus, what the Rebbe used to say all the time, Yaakov Holach Ledarke? We're in the Maimorim. Do you have the Yaakov Holach Ledarke? The answer is in this V'Kocha. Okay, and the Rebbe, whenever the Rebbe brings the Yaakov Holach Ledarke, he quotes the V'Kocha. And Derech Agav, in the V'Kocha, when the Rebbe Maharash talks about Yaakov Holach Ledarke, he actually says that the very beginning of Yaakov Holach Ledarke is not Matzah Simchas Torah, it's not Shabbos Bereishis, it's actually Matzah Yom Kippurim. It's already the beginning of Yaakov Holach Ledarke. So when you learn this Hemshech V'Kocha, and he talks about each Inyan in Sukkot Tisha, and he explains it so richly, the Rebbe Maharash says over and over again, but there's a problem, but there's a problem, but there's a problem. He continuously refers back to a chassan. What's the problem? The problem is all of these holy things are exactly that. They're holy. You need mitzvahs. You need mitzvahs. In other words, Tishrei is special. But Tishrei is not life. Tishrei is almost an escape from life. After Tishrei is going to be a Cheshvan and a Kislev and a Tevis and a Shvat and a other, till the next Tishrei. What is going to sustain a Yid when it's not a special time, when it's not Yomim Neroyim, when it's not Rosh Hashanah, Seres Yemei Tshuva, and Yom Kippur, etc.? The answer is mitzvahs. And the Rebbe Maharash continuously references this problem. That Tishrei is very holy, Tishrei is very great. It's a time of Yom Midas Harachamim, of all the exotic things that you find in Maimonides Hasidus about Tishrei. But mitzvahs you don't really have till Sukkot, or maybe even till after Sukkot. Because in order for these holy energies, these holy inspirations, to be sustainable, for them to last, for them to continue for the duration of the year, you have to have mitzvahs ma'asiyos. This is one of the ideas that the V'Kocha talks about a lot. And that's why the Rebbe Maharash is saying that till Sukkot starts, till you have the mitzvah of Sukkot and Lulav, but be'ikah till after Simchas Torah, when you go to regular mitzvahs, you have this chesed. Okay? Now, there's a glue. There's a bridge. If Tishrei is a very, very special time, it's a lofty time, right? In Kabbalah words, it's higher than Ishtalshalus. Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, Kirev Amoed Alanitzo, it's a Gili of Yechido, all the exotic things that we say standard about Seres Yemei Tshuva. Yeah, but you're missing mitzvahs, you're missing behavioral mitzvahs, and the behavioral mitzvahs are very, very, very important because they're going to sustain us for the long haul. They're going to sustain us through the year. You need a bridge. And that bridge is Shmini Atzeres. That bridge is Shmini Atzeres. And I want to explain to you Shmini Atzeres, okay? So first of all, if you live in Eretz Yisrael, Shmini Atzeres is Simchas Torah, right? If you live in Eretz Yisrael, Shmini Atzeres is Simchas Torah. It's very simple. Which means they mix, for the Mittler Rebbe, they're mixing beans, and I don't know, corn. It's a mix of two different things altogether. But if you live in Chutz La'aretz, Shmini Atzeres, you could almost say, is the most boring day of Sukkot. It's the quietest day of Sukkot. You don't stay up a whole night, right? Simchas Beis HaSheyeva, you stay up a whole night. Shmini Atzeres, you go to sleep. The only night of Sukkot you actually sleep. It's Shmini Atzeres. Okay? And in a way, it's like a day that you don't understand what it is. So here's the deal. In the ganze Welt, right? In the ganze Welt, at least in the Chassidische Welt, and the Sfadische Welt, Misnagdim I don't know. Misnagdim is Tam also. But in the ganze Welt, the highlight of Sukkot in Ruchniistic terms is the Shana Rabbah. If you've ever been in non-Chabad shuls and you watched non-Chabad custom, you know that a Shana Rabbah is a very, very special day. It's Piskei Tova. You know that in many Kehilas Kedishas B'Yisrael, when they do the Segan HaKofas of Shana Rabbah, the 7 Hakofas of Shana Rabbah, they push it, kipshut below Shefer. The Shana Rabbah is considered Kodesh HaKadoshim. Chabad doesn't make such a big deal out of Shana Rabbah.
That's the day that the books are sealed, though.
Right, in Zoyar. In Zohar, it's written that there's something called a petek, a piece of paper, which is sealed in Hoshana Rabbah. But in Chabad, we don't make much of it. I mean, you look at the Maimonides Hasidus, they don't talk a lot about Hoshana Rabbah. Our Rebbe, in the 1980s, in the Tufshin Mems, started to say that Mevinch Sech Piskatov, that every Yid wishes his other Jew that he should have a good ceiling, a good Piskatov. But if you go back, before then, it was not something which Chabad Hasidim kochten them, the idea of Hoshana Rabbah. What's the biggest day of Tishrei in Chabad? So there's only one rule that's always true, that whatever the whole world says, Chabad says different. And in this case, what is the day that separates, that's unique in the whole Tishrei, in the whole Sukkot? By us, it's Shmini Atzeres. In the ganze Welt, Shmini Atzeres is like sleepy day. I'm not sure what it is. And some kills, they don't even make a kofet Shmini Atzeres. We at least make a kofet Shmini Atzeres by night. But it's ruyik, it's not too long, it's not with too much mashke, you have to go out to the Sukkot to say L'chaim. So Shmini Atzeres is not a shturim dekadei like Simchas Teire. It's not so freilich like Sukkot. But in Chassidus Chabad, Shmini Atzeres is the highlight of Tishrei. It's the highlight of Tishrei. Now, talking about ironies, talking about things that don't make sense, the ganze Welt says the David Hashem 80 from the first day of Chodesh Elul until Shmini Atzeres. Dafke Chabad says the David Hashem 80 from the first day of Chodesh Elul till Hoshana Rabbah. We don't say David Hashem 80 and Shmini Atzeres. And it's really, really very backwards. Because Al Pi Svara and Al Pi Seichel, we should be saying David Hashem 80 Shmini Atzeres. And the ganze Welt should not be saying David Hashem 80 because they consider Hoshana Rabbah the bigger day. Right? What's Shmini Atzeres? The word Atzeres in Hebrew, Ayin Tzadek Reish Tov, is brought three translations. Atzeres means to ha'akava, to hold, to pause, to hesitate. Atzara means melech, a king is called a Yiddish Atzer. And Atzeres also means klita, to absorb, to internalize. Shmini, the 8th day of Sukkot, is Atzeres. It's the day that you stop and you take in the whole Tishrei. And a Pi Kabbalah, it's the deepest inyan of Tishrei. It's the deepest inyan of Tishrei. Right? That Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is very holy days. But it's represented by a cloud. The cloud of the Ketores of Yom Kippurim is the Yechida of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. A cloud is makif, it surrounds you. From that cloud becomes the schach of the sukkah, which is weiter a makif. But as is our custom that we shake the lulav and we bring the lulav to our heart, dafke in the sukkah, by bringing the lulav to our heart in the sukkah, we're taking the makif and we're internalizing it. The ultimate internalization of Tishrei is Shmini Atzeres. You know what we do in Shmini Atzeres? Nothing. You stop. You stop. And in life and in human experience, it's a very well-known thing that when a person is very, very busy, they don't have a chance to fully take in what they have until they stop. So Rosh Hashanah, Aseres Yemei Teshuvah, Sukkot, the Daled Yom Bein Yom Kippurim LeSukkot, Sukkot and Simchas Beis HaSheva is all shturimdik. Shmini Atzeres, you stop, do nothing, pause, you hesitate. The Rebbe once said that by the Rabbeim and Shmini Atzeres, there was a seriousness which you didn't see the whole Sukkot, and you certainly did not see Simchas Teda. There was an earnestness. The Rebbe said, "Mekenish dogen wegen der Rabbeim an from Morosh Cheda." You can't say about the Rabbeim an from sadness. Aber sie seien gewesen mehr in sich. That's what the Rebbe said. The Rabbeim went into themselves. They became more unavailable because the inyan of Shmini Atzeres is klita. To take in all the Giloim of Tisha, you take in Shmini Atzeres. Now, Menachem Mendel, I want you to think about what I'm telling you. Why in the ganze Welt is the Iked Day Hoshana Rabbah? The answer is because Hoshana Rabbah is the end of Hashem's judgment. Why in Chabad is the Iked Day Shmini Atzeres? Because Chabad is concerned not with how the Eibush judges us, Chabad is concerned with our avodah. How we're going to take from Tishrei for the rest of the year. That's why Shmini Atzeres is more important than Chabad and Hoshana Rabbah, because in the derech of Chabad we're focusing more on the avodah. In other words, what we do to connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu and carry Tishrei into the whole year, than on the Eibishter's dinim. So in the Welt, Koch Mezech and Hoshana Rabbah, because it's the sof of the dinim. In Chabad, Koch Mezech and Shmini Atzeres, which is the sof of the klita, to internalize. So when the Eibishter gives us a great light, Hashem gives us a great oil. It's a wonderful thing. But sometimes when you get something which is too great, as they say in American, easy come, easy go. You have to make it yours. You have to make it last. And that's Shmini Atzeres. Shmini Atzeres is the day that you take in all of the inyanim of Tishrei, so that after Tishrei it will translate into mitzvahs maisius, into living as a Jew every day in regular, ordinary times, where there's no great revelations, there's no Gilead Midas Arachamim, there's no Kirva Moral Anitzutz, and there's no Gilead Yechid, and all those other things we say about Tishrei. The link, the real coupling, the real connector between Tishrei and the whole year is the Inyan of Shmini Atzeres. It's called Klita. Okay, now I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let you ask me your questions. And the one more thing is that it's written in Sifrei Kabbalah, and it's brought in Tanya in Kuntas Acharon, that every year there's latest neshamas. Every year neshamas are born. In other words, all the Yiddish neshamas, they're going to come into this world over the course of the year, just like the body needs time to develop, needs 9 months to gestate, to form in the Rechem Ha'em. The neshama also needs time to gestate, to form in the Rechem Ha'em. So Api Kabbalah, the Ibur, the beginning of the pregnancy of the neshamas that are going to be born that year is Shmini Atzeres, and the Leida, the birth of neshamas, is Shvi Shal Pesach. The Friedrich Rebbe used to say that by the Chabad Rabbeim, the happiest day of the year was Shvi Shal Pesach, because it's latest neshamas. And Shmini Atzeres is the Ibur, is the pregnancy of neshamas. It's the Ikr Ziv. That's what he means when he says Yichud v'Zivik ha'Ikri. It's the beginning of the birth of neshamas. So now you can talk if you wish.
Don't really have any questions.
Good. So let's read inside. Okay, you ready? Let's read it. We'll read it one more time. What starts on Rosh Hashanah Kippur, what's called Binyan HaMalchus. It causes the real zivig, the marriage between the Eibush Techmayach, which happens Shmini Atzeres. Because for us, that brings for the tipa, the point, which is the beginning of the birth of new neshamas. Me'ein seif mamish from the Eibush himself Kayach. Be'bechinas mok, and neshamas is all the source of Jewish souls. Hanikra nukva, which is Malchus of Atzilus, which happens at Shmini Atzeres. V'zeh, and that's why it says in the Pasuk Atzeres Tielachem. On this day you stop. On this day you absorb, you take in. On this day there is the Eibishter planting his seed for the Avodas Hashem of Yidden, for the birth of Neshamas, for the whole year. Says the Rebbe, just like it's true once a year on Shmini Atzeres, it's true every day in davening. That just like every single day, Shema Yisrael is Shofar. And the second bracha of Shemini Esrei is Aseret Simei Tshuva. And the third bracha of Shemini Esrei is Sukkos. Which bracha of Shemini Esrei is Shmini Atzeres? Says the Rebbe. Every single day there's a rebuilding of Zun. In the 18 or 19 brachas of Shemini Esrei, Shanim Shach Acha Kacha Tipa, that the seed is brought forward as the motivator, as the coupling, as the bringing together. The time of davening and learning with the time of going out into the world, says the Rebbe b'Sim Shalom. The bracha of Sim Shalom is the Klita. The Shmini Atzeres of Shmini Esrei is Sim Shalom. Because what happens in Sim Shalom, it's Ham Shacha, it brings down Hapnimius, which is the deepest, Me'erin say from godliness, Shenimshach, Klalusa B'Kriyashma. In general, it was brought down when we said Krishma. But Krishma is only in general. Then you have 19 brachas of Shmini Esrei. Every single bracha is a different niko, it's a different sfira, it's a different shame, it's a different inyan to bring down the Hamshacha Klaus of Krishma into the aspects of Shmini Esrei until it comes down into the Midas Zon Malchus. Ulam. However, it cannot come down into Zun. You have to first build up Zun. It should be a complete person. Be able to conceive and give birth. Says the Rebbe, Begimel Rishayin Tishmein Esrei. When you start Shmenes and you say Ovis, Gvuras, and Kedusha, who are binyan dezun, you're building up Midas of Atzilas to be able to be a makabel from the Eibush. There was the Mashpia. Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is Gvuras, and Sukkot is Kedusha. The Amshocha said in Teiv Behem Bebechinas Hamechen. And then the Rebbe says, "V'achakach nasa Amshocha pnimis b'sim shalom." Then it's internalized in sim shalom. So the Rebbe says, Tishrei, two things happen, or many things happen. One of the things that happens on Tishrei is the Eibishter creates the possibility for us to be a makabel from him. After the Eibishter creates the possibility for us to be a makabel from him, then we're makabel actually. Building us up to be able to be makabel from him is called binyan amalchus, whatever binyan amalchus means. I talked about it in an earlier class. And it's accomplished in the first three brachas of Shemon Esrei. And after we're able to be a makabel from the Eibishter, then there's the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is Sim Shalom. Now, of course, you could scratch your head and say correctly, wait a minute, what about all the brachas before? What about Das and Tshuva and Slicha and Geula and Refuah and Shonim and Veistach, whatever the brachas are called, Sheftim and Minim and Tzadikim and Yerushalayim and Tzemach David and Tefillah and Avodah and Heidah. I have so many brachas. Every bracha has a name and every bracha has a different Inyan. The Tzemach Tzedek does not discuss each one of those brachas, but you have to assume that every one of those brachas is a different avodah in Chodesh Tishrei. All the Tzemach Tzedek talks about is Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. That's Shofar. Then Gevuras and Kedushas is the binyan, building up. Gevuras is building up the Malchus the way it is in Yom Neroim, and Kedusha is building a Malchus the way it is in Sukkot. And he goes straight to Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom Shmini Atzeres. So the Tzemach Tzedek doesn't tell us everything, but he gives us some information. And the point is, and this is really common sense, to have a relationship with the Eibishter, the trick is not for the Eibishter to dazzle us. If Hashem blows our mind, if Hashem reveals himself to us and blows our mind, then our minds are blown. If our minds are blown, there's no brain. If there's no brain, nobody did a work. You can't blow a mind of a Yid, you have to raise up a mind of a Yid. So there's taka steps that are mind-blowing, that are extraordinary. But in the end, if Yid not going to have a relationship with the Eibishter, and that relationship with the Eibishter is going to be sustainable, it's going to last, not for a day or for a week, but for a lifetime, it has to come down into something which is called pnimius. He gives and we take. And it's not overwhelming, but we're a keli for it. In the year, this is the day of Shmini Atzeres, and in the Tefillah, it's the bracha of Sim Shalom. Now, what were you just saying? I didn't hear you. What were you just saying?
My question really isn't why not the middle brachas. My question is there's three brachas at the beginning, three brachas at the end. If you're going to be using those, use at least 1, 2, 3, and 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Every bracha has a taich. The Tzemach Tzedek is just not giving it to us. It's not just the Tzemach Tzedek is choosing this because he's got to pick one of them. The Tzemach Tzedek knows what he's not telling us. Tzemach Tzedek knows what Avodah means. That's the 17th bracha Shemon Esrei. He knows what Heidah means. That's the 18th bracha of Shemon Esrei. And he knows what Shalom means, which is the 19th bracha of Shemon Esrei. So even though he's not telling it to us, but he knows it. So he's not choosing Sim Shalom simply because mathematically he needs to choose a bracha, but because he's telling you this is the bracha that accomplishes this. I'm going to ask you a pashta kasha, yeah? You have 90 brachas of Shemon Esrei. Each bracha is either a shevach, praising Hashem, or a bakasha, asking Hashem, or a heidah, thanking Hashem, right? The first 3 brachas are praising Hashem, the middle 13 brachas are asking Hashem, and the last 3 brachas is thanking Hashem. Yeah? What's Sim Shalom? What's Sim Shalom? Are you praising Hashem? Are you thanking Hashem? Or are you asking Hashem?
Sounds to me like a bakasha.
Right, so why is it the last bracha? It should be the middle 13.
I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you another question. What kind of bakasha is shalom? You go over to you. What do you need? I need panos. What do you need? I need children. What do you need? I need health. What do you need? I need shalom bayis. Actually, shalom bayis is shalom, yeah? You go with, what do you need? I need peace. What is that? What is that? What is shalom? You know what I was thinking? It's like Shabbos. What happens on Shabbos, Mendele? What happens on Shabbos?
The world rests.
Nothing. Nothing happens on Shabbos. Nothing happens on Shabbos.
Okay, yeah.
It's menucha, nothing. Which is why Goy Sheshav is chayiv misa. Goy is not allowed to do nothing on Shabbos because your person was created to work, and a person who's wasting his time is killing himself. So if Shabbos nothing happens, what are Yidden doing? A Goy is not allowed to do nothing. Yeah, a Yid once a week do nothing. What's the teretz? That by a Goy doing nothing would be a waste of time. By a Yid doing nothing is menucha and oinig. By stopping your life, you experience the pleasure of Hashem. Lahavdla Goy is not zoicha to have that giloy, so he's not allowed to rest. But you don't have Shabbos until you stop. You follow?
Yeah.
That's Sim Shalom. It's the last bracha of Shemini Esrei. It's written in the signet of a bakasha. But what's the teichen of the bakasha? Give me nothing. That's what you're asking for. You're not even asking for Mashiach. You're asking for nothing. What's Shalom? Goodish. Shalom means peace. What is peace?
Nothing.
It's the greatest nothing in the universe. It's the ultimate nothing. Halavai, we should all have this nothing. But in terms of a specific thing, it's a nothing. It's I serve Hashem. I get up in the morning. I go to shul. I go to a shiur. Yeah, I davening. I finish davening. I go to learn. Then after I go to learn, I eat breakfast. Then I go to work, and I work very hard, and I meet all kinds of people. And then I stop in the middle of my day, and I daven mincha. And then I finish my day. Then I run home, and I eat something, and I go back to the Beis HaMedrash, and I learn. And then I daven ma'ariv with the Kishma Shalamita. It's a whole seder. What's Sim Shalom? I don't want that my life should be just busy with 1,000 things. I want my whole life should be one thing. I'm doing many things, but I have one life. That's Sim Shalom. Why? Because Sim Shalom means that everything that I do in my life should become one with me. Should become niklat in me. Just like on Shmini Atzeres. It becomes niklat, becomes one with the person. Sim Shalom means all the things I'm going to do from one morning till the next morning, and from one evening till the next evening should become one with me, should be at peace with me. That's why Sim Shalom is nothing, but it's the most important nothing of all. It's the nothing of absorption. So the Tzemach Tzedek says, I'm not going to tell you, he doesn't tell us what Ovis is either. I'm not going to tell you what Das is, I'm not going to tell you what Tshuva is, I'm not going to tell you what Slich is, I'm not going to tell you what Geula is, I'm not going to tell you what Refuah is, I'm not going to tell you what Shonim is, I'm not going to tell you what Sheftim is, I'm not going to tell you what Minim is, I'm not going to tell you what Tzadikim is, I'm not going to tell you what Yerushalayim is, I'm not going to tell you what Tzemach David is, I'm not going to tell you what Shema Kelenu is called, it's called, Tefillah maybe. I'm not going to tell you what Avodah is, I'm not going to tell you what Haidah is, I'm telling you what Shalom is. But it's not the pshat that the other brachas don't have a meaning that you could explain and compare to Tishrei. At this point, I'm only giving you these details. Du verstehst?
Yeah.
So let's finish the perek. Let's just finish the perek. I'm just going to finish the perek quick. Because I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to read it in Taich. And a bit from tomorrow, we're going to start perek Yud Beis. Later on, what happens in Shemini Esrei, which follows what happens in Kriyashma. In Kriyashma, you cry out like Tkiya Shefer, and you touch Kvayachal Atzmos Amhut. In Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur and in Sukkot, which is the second bracha Shemini Esrei and the third bracha Shemini Esrei, you bring it to yourself through Gevura or through Simcha. In the last bracha Shemini Esrei, there's a klita. You absorb it, yeah. Then you go away. When you go away from shul, you're not leaving the shul behind, you're taking the shul with you. Right? So just like davening is a ladder up, like it says in the Zohar, and you know this. Sulam dot sloisa, tefillah is a ladder to climb. From Asiyah is from Meidani till Baruch Shama. Yitzira is from Baruch Shama till Yishtabach. Bria is from the beginning of Bechas Krishma till Gal Yisrael. And Shemini Esrei is Atzilos. And the culmination of Shemini Esrei is Sim Shalom. Then you climb back down the ladder. Says the Rebbe, Mekabel Memshochazu Gamken Ilmas Dabiyad, comes down to lower three worlds. Because of all it's seeing Mekabel Elam Abriya. Of all tzinius in the world of Briya. B'shir Shalyem Be'elam HaYetzira. Shir Shalyem is Elam HaYetzira. And Pitam HaKteris is Elam HaAsiyah. Right? All of these things, of Balatzian and Shir Shalyem and Pitam HaKteris, are not mentioned in Chazal. They're mentioned in Shas. They were added later. I mean, the Gemara mentions of Balatzian very bekitzin. But Kedusha, what is it called? Kedusha. It's a Kedusha of Golus, of Balatzian. So the Rebbe says, you know why we say these tefillas? Because now you're climbing down the ladder from Briya to Yetzira to Asiyah. Nimtza. So it comes out like this. Every single day, just like every single year, in a microcosm, every single day, life that is new is brought on from the Ein Seif, Memekeda the Kel, from the source of everything. Every day, it comes down into the lower world of Briya Yetzira and Asiyah. And the many different creations within them. Says the Rebbe that just like once a year there's a renewal, every day there is a renewal on a small level. Shenes Chadesh, Bohem HaChayes B'chol Yom. Every day there's a renewal, or like it says in Chazal, based on the Psukim B'chol Yom Yu B'necha Kachadosh V'chulu. Every day it's like new and new mamish. And the Rebbe says V'kol Zeh. How does it all happen? Adei Krishma Ushmenesre. Krishma, and what comes before and comes after creates this bridge, creates this ladder, creates this inspiration. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you'll come tomorrow morning, we'll start Perek Yud Beis. I think it was very clear. Okay. Good morning, Tadish. Thank you for joining me.